everybody, welcome back to the channel. You guys, hope you're having a good day. You guys are bringing some more content, so make sure you go ahead and smash the thumbs up button for the video. Helps the channel out, costs you nothing, it takes 2 seconds. So thank you for joining. Today's video, we are going to be reviewing my oil sample that I recently took on the truck and submitted to a company, Oil Analyzer, to test the oil. I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about the importance of taking oil samples on your truck. If you care about it, you guys, this is not going to be a wow video. This is just an informative, good video. So my young cats, y'all might not be interested in this, but my old dudes, cats that hot shot trucking, they use their truck for work, I think this video will be very informative because we have some interesting stuff to talk about, okay? I also reached out to the company because I wanted a little clarification on some of the verbiage they use, because they can get a little too scientific with it, if you know what I'm saying, because they're sending these out to regular people, but they're talking that scientific, you know, talk and whatnot, like and stuff like that. So I got a little breakdown. I'm going to explain it to the T. It's not going to take super long, but you guys will enjoy it. You'll get something out of this, and then also will stress the emphasis of taking oil samples on your trucks, okay? So thank you for joining. Enjoy the video, comment, like always, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. All right, you guys, so right here I have the oil sample results. As you guys know, and if you did not know, I recently changed the oil. When I changed the oil recently, I ran Amsoil 15W40 series or signature series oil. Before that, the oil I drained and sent out the sample was the Amsoil 15W40 synthetic diesel, heavy duty and marine. Okay. I also added some hot shot stiction eliminator to it because I wanted to see if there was a noticeable difference. Conclusion. For my truck, this is my truck only. Personally, I did not notice a significant difference running this compared to when I usually run Amsoil. This is not thing tipped over. This is not to say bashing them. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I personally did not experience an increase in miles per gallon. I didn't notice a faster, like my truck's pretty clean, if that makes sense. I've been running Amsoil for going on what, 3.5, maybe 4 years now. I've been running Amsoil for a minute. Amsoil has a ton of detergents and additives in the oil already. Adding this, no noticeable difference, which tells me my engine's already clean or this doesn't work. I'm gonna be more on my engine's clean side because, well, I didn't have any issues prior to this, you guys know. On top of that, people who were having issues with their trucks in terms of sluggishness or on the Power Stroke cats with the Huey system, having hard starts and, you know, injectors sticking on them, this works good for them. On my truck, I personally did not notice a difference. Okay, you can use this on all diesels, all gasoline vehicles, so just want to put that out there. Okay, you guys, so first things first is when you get your results back, they're gonna look like this. Okay, I went ahead and just, you know, X'd out the personal information and whatnot. So when you get it, it's gonna have all your information that you gave them about the truck. It tells you when it tells you when the sample was taken, received, and completed. Up here is a scale reading. So basically 0 to 1 is normal, 2 to 3 is abnormal, and 4 is critical. 4 is like, hey, you need to get your stuff looked at ASAP. Okay, we're in the 2 category, which is like middle, which is good. Okay, and I did talk to Oil Analyzer, and they told me it's nothing to freak out over. Okay, so here in the comments section, they put your comments. They put a comment in here, and basically what it says is the flag data does not indicate an immediate need for maintenance action. I'm trying to read this and show you at the same time. Continue to observe and train and monitor equipment and fluid conditions. Cylinder region metals are at a moderate level, bearing metal at a moderate level, magnesium is slightly high. For this lubricant, unit hours, mileage, kilometers conflicts with time from previous sample. Oil is suitable for continued use. Resample at 7,000 miles or 125 hours. Your notes were taken into consideration. So the notes that I put into this, where it was that I added, I think, 48 ounces of the hot shot stiction per their instructions. Okay, below that, what they have here is all of the breakdowns. See if I zoom in, if that just makes it better. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So here, this is all the breakdowns of the different types of things they're testing for. So you have your wear metals, contaminant metals, multi-source metals, additive metals. So what I'm really concerned about here is additive metals, contaminant metals, wear metals. Wear metals are going to be metals within your engine block that are prone to wearing over time. So the first three we have is iron, chrome, and nickel. That's going to consist of all of your upper cylinder area regions, the top side of your engine. Wear metals is going to be your bearings, so your crank, your bearings for the crank, camshaft. I mean, camshaft it can kind of go through both, but the cam's going to be on this side too. And then contaminant metals are obviously contamination within the oil. This is a big one. If your contamination is low, which it is on all of this, is really good. Multi-source metals, I'm gonna be real with you, don't really care about this stuff. It's all good anyways. And then additive metals. So what's in the oil to help with your oil in terms of protection and detergents. Now, when you come down here, you see sample number. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So this is my third sample that I recently took. Now, usually when you get this, it's going to be in color. My printer was low on color ink, so it printed it in black and white. So I highlighted everything that was highlighted on the actual color picture. I'll put it somewhere on the video here. But when we come back down here, okay, you guys, so it says here, cylinder region metals, and it tells you what it's talking about, are at a moderate level. Moderate is fine, okay? Moderate, it does not mean severe, it does not mean broken, it does not mean critical. It means moderate, it's fine, okay? Bare metal is at a moderate level, just like that. Magnesium is slightly high for this lubricant. Now, first thing we'll talk about is the wear metals, because it's the first one's up here, okay? So you can see here, and down here, it tells you, where is it at, right here? You can see my sample date. So my first sample was on October of 2019. And then with these two, this was a transmission sample right here, this second one right here. And then right here, let me make sure I'm not twisted. Yeah, this one was a sample metal. This one right here is an oil, okay? This third one, all right? This is the one I took a couple days ago. So I can see all of my stuff. I can see the mileage when I did it, the mileage here, the hours on the unit. And it can talk about stuff like here. Now, this is where it gets good, okay, because you can see your fuel dilution, which is less than 1. You got your soot volume, less than 1. We got 0.1 here. Water contamination in the oil, and then they do a viscosity test. 40 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius, okay. So you can see none of this stuff was flagged in my sample, okay. You got acid number, base number. Oxidation was a little higher than normal. And then nitration, so I guess nitrogen, or I'll be real, I don't know. I'm not a chemist. All right. Oxidation did increase on this recent sample. Now, my truck has 188,000 miles. These last two samples were taken when my truck had 166,000 and 167,000. We're creeping up on 200,000 miles now. So I'm not sure if that's just part of, you know, an older engine or what. It probably isn't, because oxidation is less on this one than this one. But this sample, this current sample I took, has the most mileage on it. So right here you can see we have almost 10,000 miles on my last oil sample. So I guess it would be a little normal to see higher numbers in that. Same thing with the samples, okay? So coming here, wear metals, we have chrome increased from 0 and 1 to 4. By the way, iron right here is good. So 37, the reason why I pulled this out is because it's green. Chrome went up 4. Nickel stayed the same. So my upper cylinder region and all that is good. There's no craziness wear going on there. And then we come down here to the bottom of the engine. This is the important part of the engine. Your crank bearings, camshaft, all that stuff, okay? This is all going to be consistent of here, okay? You can see where I put a little line at too to kind of block it in. So we got copper's good. Lead increased from 0, 1 to 3. Tin increased from 0, 1 to 3. Cadmium stayed 0. Silver 0. Whatever the hell that is, I ain't even try to say that. That's 0 as well, okay? So in terms of wear, now ppm, parts per million, okay? So out of 1 million parts of oil, 3 parts is lead. That's pretty insignificant, okay? But don't get fooled on that, okay? I'll talk about that a little bit later. Contaminant metals, all are good within range, okay? Again, you notice how it's silicone, sodium, and potassium. This oil has a lot more mileage on it than the other ones, okay? Therefore, it could slightly have a higher contamination level. But these are actually still good, okay? And then we come all the way down here to additive metals. These are additive metals that are added to the oil to protect your engine. Magnesium is big. All these are big ones, but magnesium and zinc, okay? Every Amsoil sample I've sent in has had high magnesium levels. The zinc levels, obviously your additives will break down over time because you're putting more miles on the oil is being used more. Zinc levels are down, and it's a trend of it going down, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that the engine's failing. That just means that the oil might be working harder than it is. Now, keep in mind, this is the first oil sample that I've had since putting compounds on the truck, okay? And this is the first oil sample where there's actually a noticeable difference in terms of whatchamacallit, in terms of a wear jump, in terms of jumps in numbers. They're small though. 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 0 to 4. That is a jump, considering this sample 2 was taken with, let's see, 167,000 miles on it. So when we took that sample from 167,000 to 188,000 miles, we had a jump of 4 parts per million for chrome. Again, first sample with compounds, which the reason why I'm doing this, or the reason why I'm talking about it, is because it's starting to make me wonder. We have 2 compound turbos, or we have 2 turbos on the truck now. So what does that mean? The oil is oiling 2 turbos now instead of 1. So what does that mean? The oil is going to work more, okay? Instead of the oil traditionally being able to work like it's designed for 1 turbo, it's now working for 2 turbos, because that same oil that gets recycled is going into the second turbo, okay? It's getting fed by both. The engine's feeding both turbos at the same time, which makes me wonder, does running compound turbos wear your oil out faster? That is the golden question. I don't know based off of just this one test, you guys. So what's going to happen is my next oil change interval, which is 7,500 miles, I am going to retake a sample and I'm going to send it in, and I want to see the numbers, okay? Now, one thing I did add run Signature Series this time. Signature Series guarantees 6-time wear protection. So I'm expecting to see some good numbers over here, and I'm expecting to see either the same numbers, if not lower. Anytime you're starting to see a steady increase, that's called a trend, okay? That's just in anything in life, okay? Anytime it's a steady, repetitive nature, that is a trend, okay? Now, if the numbers are increasing sequentially, that's a trend, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to keep this in mind. Now, am I saying my truck's killing itself? No, I'm not. You can see right here it says resample in 7,000 miles or 125 hours. Flag data does not indicate an immediate need for maintenance actions. Okay, so it's not a huge thing. I think this is just interesting to show you guys. Now, the reason why I bring this up to you guys is because as you put more miles on your unit, this is something that and you can do this for your engine, your transmission, your diff fluid, any fluid. They can test trans fluid, any oil they can test. So I tested my trans oil one time, a long time ago, just because I was curious, and it actually came back at the level 3. But they said it was fine. But this is something really good to do, especially if you're that guy or gal that wants to keep their truck for a long time and you want to run that sucker for the rest of its life. This is something that for $30 you get assurance and you get facts, okay? You also know if your oil is working for you, okay? Now, another thing too is if you want to do the whole, well, is Amsoil worth extra money? And in my opinion, yes, because I don't see people getting numbers like this with magnesium. Now, there was a drop in magnesium with the last sample, but not too sure why. But you don't see additive numbers like this, okay? Now, you can do a baseline where you send in a clean sample of oil, same type of oil, send in a clean sample in conjunction with a used set sample, regular oil change interval mileage. And you can do a baseline, and they'll do a baseline for you. They'll send you a baseline for the oil, brand new oil, and they'll send you a baseline, or they'll send you a report for the used oil. And you can see if you're getting your money's worth. Does that make sense? Now, what I like is how it says resampling 7,000 miles. So what does that tell me right now? That tells me 2 things. That tells me, 1, that my oil is working for me, and I would feel safe and confident in terms of saying that you get what you pay for with Amsoil. Amsoil with the diesel marine oil guarantees double intervals. My truck oil change intervals are 7,500 miles. I ran it currently to 9,000 something miles, almost 10,000 miles, and it's saying I can go up to 17,000 miles on the same oil. You guys, if you paid, if I paid 120 bucks for an oil change kit with Amsoil, and I can get 17,000 miles out of it, I think that's good oil. Everybody wants to, you can't call it snake oil no more. You can't. We have statistical facts right here explaining everything, okay, laying it out on the line. So the term snake oil, you can call it what you want. You can call it a scam, but we have solidified evidence. This is a third-party company. This has no association with Amsoil. This company can test oil for any oil, anybody they want to. Okay, Blackstone Lab is another very good, reputable company I hear a lot of people talk about. So this is just a basic, you guys, this is just a basic, you know, like a basic run through of an oil sample. Okay, so it's very interesting, and I find this stuff interesting, and I think a lot of you guys out there that want your truck for the long-term investment, I think you guys are going to find that this is very informative as well. So I highly encourage and challenge you to go do an oil sample, see what it has, do an oil sample in your transmission. You never know, you know what I'm saying? And by doing this too, you also find out if you can potentially identify a deficiency in the future, or you can identify a deficiency now and save yourself the hassle in the future. You know what I'm saying? So just a random example, this is not true, I'm just making it up. Let's say your crankshaft is made out of iron, which some of them are. If it's made out of iron and there's a high amount of iron wear in your oil, crank's starting to fail. So maybe it's time for an engine rebuild. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of a heads up. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that video helped you out, you guys. I'm not going to go super in depth. I don't want to have you guys sleeping on me. If you have questions about the sample, about the oil, by all means, let me know. If you guys are interested in getting some Amsoil products, information is down below for my Amsoil dealer, Adrian. He can get you any Amsoil you need, and he can get it to you as fast as possible. Next day shipping, and rewind. He can get it to you as fast as you can. 2-day shipping. Sometimes it shows up next day. I know where I live at. If I order it today, it shows up the next day. So take it for what it is. But thank you guys so much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, comment, like, smash the thumbs up, all that good stuff. Subscribe. And again, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Is this something that you can see yourself doing in the future? Is it worth it? Is it malarkey? All that stuff, okay? So until next time, y'all take care. Be safe. Peace out. And I will see you guys